Welcome to News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss. Here now the news for May 13th, 2020. During the Orange County Economic Recovery Task Force meeting this week, Vice President of Walt Disney World Thomas Moslem reiterated that the booking of reservations starting on July 1st is not necessarily indicative of a reopening date for the theme parks.
Allow me to clarify, we have taken reservations for July, but that should not mean we're operating in July yet. As you all saw on the news yesterday, we've opened up Shanghai, which went extremely well. We were very prudent, very conservative, and things went extremely well. But at this point, we have really nothing to report about Walt Disney World yet. As we have said continuously, we will allow data to guide us, as well as the governments, and not a specific date. So just wanted to make sure we have clarity around that, but thank you for asking.
Walt Disney World Resort has stated similar parameters with every new booking window announced, as it did with the initial reservation openings in June. With Disney Springs partially reopening in just a matter of days, essential cast members like custodial and security hosts are being called back in to ensure that the first phase reopening of Walt Disney World is a clean and safe one. According to the Orlando Sentinel, nearly 120 custodians are being called back into work for the May 20th phased reopening, with some workers set to return as early as this Friday to get everything ready. Disney has provided essential cast members throughout the entire closure with face masks upon request, and will continue to do so for these returning cast members. Guests will also be required to wear face masks throughout the property as the phased reopenings continue. More Disney Springs restaurants have announced they will be reopening on May 20th. Yisake Orlando, Aaron McKenna's Bakery NYC, the Four Rivers Cantina Barbacoa Food Truck, the Polite Pig, Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company locations, and both Sunshine Churros locations will be opening. Restaurants that had previously announced their reopening include Wolfgang Puck Bar and Grill, STK Orlando, Wine Bar George, and the Haagen-Dazs Ice Cream Kiosk. So lots of different offerings. We've got Wine Bar George booked for the first day. We're going to try it out. We're going to go with our face masks on and try to safely have a meal. See how it goes. Currently, all reservations for the May 20th phased reopening at Disney Springs are available mainly on OpenTable. However, starting June 1st, you can book directly via the My Disney Experience app. Then, starting for July 1st, dining reservations are open for nearly all restaurants on Walt Disney World property. Walt Disney World, though, recently announced it would only take bookings for July 1st onward, with June reservations potentially being canceled on a week-by-week basis. A permit has been filed indicating a tenant remodel of the standalone Starbucks location in Disney Springs West Side. It's unknown whether the Starbucks will have to temporarily close for a period of time during the remodel, or if it will remain open, or how operations will even be impacted. Starbucks kiosk in the marketplace is not mentioned in the permit, so it may act as a backup location while work is being done. Both Starbucks locations were open right up until the closure of Disney Springs, albeit with pickup only. While we've all become weary of the limited edition merchandise releases on Shop Disney, pin collecting continues during the extended closures. Tomorrow's release includes a rainbow unicorn pin from Inside Out, the Ariel-themed Park Cruisers pin from The Little Mermaid, and a Cinco de Mayo commemorative ear hat pin. On the Star Wars side of things, there's a new Galaxy's Edge BB-9E Black Spire Outpost pin, plus a Gonk Power Droid pin for the Galaxy's Edge Droid Badge series. All pins will be available tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. As always, make sure to have the site open ahead of time and try to be patient, as the site is known to crash for releases. And also, just realize they may be gone in 30 seconds thanks to eBay resellers. You may not even get one. So, if you're like me, they've already ruined your whole collection. They've canceled orders on you for things you placed orders for. They're doing great. Being sarcastic, they're terrible. If you've ever seen people elbowing their way to the front of a crowd for the Festival Fantasy Parade of the Magic Kingdom, well, you know how intense guests can be when it comes to scoring a good spot. But in 2015, a guest from New York was arrested for allegedly attacking a cast member after they asked him to move for a parade. The man went on to file a lawsuit against Disney, which he has now dropped. In the incident reported by OCS, a female cast member had asked Ruben to step back 3 feet for the upcoming parade. Ruben then went on to scream at the 24-year-old cast member, grabbing their shirt and collar and threatening to punch them in the face. Rubin denied touching anyone, simply stating that he didn't want to be separated from his family, who had gone off to get snacks. Rubin pleaded no contest and was fined $100 plus court costs. This past March, he voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit he filed in 2018. He had sued for negligence as well as false arrest or imprisonment and sought over $15,000 in damages. At Disneyland Paris, CEO Natasha Rafalski, COO Daniel Delcourt, and VP of Park Operations Marco Bernini were recently seen on property as they were guided through potential reopening procedures. At this time, all reservations at Disneyland Paris have been canceled through July 14th. With deconfinement measures lifting across the country in the next few days, sources indicate that a mid-July reopening could be possible. Under this premise, cast members would get a heads up 1 month before reopening. Disneyland Paris has stated that it is working closely with other Disney parks, public authorities, our social partners, and our reopening plans will be presented to our Social and Economic Council. Some experiences, shows, or events may not be available or may be modified upon reopening, as it has at other parks. Just something to keep in mind. According to Deadline, the Walt Disney Company filed a prospectus with the SEC this week to offer multiple tranches of senior notes maturing between 2026 and 2060 in order to raise fresh cash. Details from the debt filing were disclosed in a new SEC filing from earlier, revealing the total amount of $11 billion. Interest rates for the six-part raise range from 1.75% to 3.8%. The Walt Disney Company recently announced a $6 billion U.S. debt offering as well as a $1.3 billion Canadian debt offering in March. At the end of the previous fiscal year, Disney had long-term debt worth over $38 billion. Disney Cruise Line has canceled sailings through July 28th. Disney Cruise Line is reaching out to guests who were originally booked on departures through then to advise that these sailings have been canceled. Guests faced with cancellations are being offered a choice of 125% future cruise credit to be used for a future sailing within 15 months or a full refund. Disney has just announced that a very special recording of the Hamilton play will be released on Disney Plus this July 3rd, 15 months early. Filmed with the original Broadway cast on stage at the Richard Rodgers Theater, the incredibly popular and Tony Award-winning musical tells the story of American founding father Alexander Hamilton. Notorious for having sellout performances across the globe, you won't want to miss this shot at getting to see the hit production. How lucky are we to have this right now coming to Disney Plus? For fans of the Imagineering Story documentary on Disney Plus, a new video featuring a short interview with director Leslie Iwerks highlights the greatest influences in her life, including her grandfather Ub Iwerks, the co-creator of Mickey Mouse, and father Don Iwerks, the engineer in the machine shop of the Walt Disney Studio, as well as some of the Imagineers featured in the documentary. Watch the full short video on our website. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to WDWNT.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. Also, make sure to select all notifications so that you never miss an episode of the show. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Stay safe, everybody.